Hey guys, it's Wendy with Fab Crafts and More. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. Oh, look at that. That's kind of dirty. Thank you for coming back to my channel. I really appreciate all of you returning viewers and subscribers. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button right down there. You can also turn on the bell notification. Of course, give my video a watch here to see if you like the content, and then thumbs up or a like if you do, and a subscribe would be fantastic. Today is going to be a haul video, and I do these every once in a while. I don't do them all the time, but we kind of went out, and I say we, my husband actually suggested going out to some thrift stores. He likes to look at vintage audio equipment. We also like to try to find vintage furniture for our house, mid-century modern style. And I have been trying to not buy too many things, but this trip there was a bunch of things. So I'm going to share those with you because a bunch of you said, yes, we want to see. So let's start our Goodwill. We'll start with Goodwill. We went to Goodwill, and I have mixed feelings about Goodwill, but one of the things is that I do not like how they put stuff in these bags all together like this. I get it. I understand that they get a ton of stuff, but I'm not going to use this horsey. I'm probably not going to use, I don't know, I might use those. They're kind of vintagey for maybe a vintage Christmas project or something. Anyways, this was $2.99. It was $2.99. You know, with the way things have been, with like stay-at-home orders and limited places open and things like that, I've actually been spending a little bit more on things because I'm not going out as much. And then when I see stuff, I'm like, oh, I want that. So I've not opened this yet, but the reason why I picked it up was because I could see, and I cheated. Don't tell anyone. I cheated so I could kind of see in a little bit further. But what I saw in here were these. Oh, that's cool. Ooh. These guys, like, they're made in England. They say right there, made in England. Mamalock Press Limited. I'm from England. And they are these super cool die cuts. Like, seriously, you guys, I've never seen these before. There is a date, a copyright date of 1996 on there. And obviously they're reproductions. But let me get these out of the way because it might be kind of hard to see. Check these out. How flipping cool are these? Like, I just saw the cats. I didn't even realize that there was going to be all these different ones. Oh my gosh. It goes this way. Oh, this is so cool. Flowers in little carts. Seriously. I'm gotta stop saying seriously, but butterflies. So to me, this is worth $2.99. So these really seem to look like replicas of Victorian calling cards, I think is what they called them, or die cuts. It looks like they were in this. Oh my gosh, there are so many more in here than I expected. These are so cool. Okay, I'm gonna try and get this up here so you can see if you want to try and look for them. Mamalock Press, Bury Street, Edmonds, blah blah, England. Printed and published by Mamalock Press. You guys, these are so cool. I had no idea. I just opened this package. I knew there were some sheets of these in here. And the one that I saw on the front was the cats through the little girls and I peeked inside the package, and so I could tell they were cool and I wanted them, but I had no idea that all of these were included in this. Oh, can you tell how excited I am? Oh my gosh. These are so cool. Is that a banjo? I think that's a banjo. And a violin. Flowers. Flowers. Oh, these are pretty. More flowers. And it looks like you just, you know, can come in and cut those out super easy. Like they're already die cut. You just have to come in, and I'll link to this video, my last video. I didn't know I was going to need this, but I got this gyro cut. I have a video on how to use it, but this would be perfect for getting in here to cut those out. Dun, 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 dun. How convenient that I found the gyro cut only weeks before finding these very cool die cuts. Oh my gosh. Seriously, you guys. Oh, that one's a repeat, but I didn't notice really any other repeats. Oh my goodness. Okay, that was definitely worth $2.99. There's a little bit of grosgrain, white grosgrain ribbon that will come in handy for a trim, or making a tag, not a tag, but like folding it over a piece of paper to, I'm totally spacing the name of that. And then see, then there's just this stuff like, sure, I actually might use these for making grocery lists, but then in these batches, you know, I am not going to use this. I don't have really anybody to give it to. And then did you know, and you know, a lot of you might know, but you can send pretty much anything in the mail as a postcard. These are wooden postcards. They are made of, like, I don't know, balsa wood or basswood, some sort of pressed wood. And oh, Kanita, that is actually local in Oregon. This one, I do not know where Bernie Falls State Park is. Looks like it might be in California. But yeah, these could possibly come in handy or fun for something. And then, yeah, here's all of these shaped sequins, but the stars would be cute for like 50s, 60s vintage style stockings, or I'm going to be making, well, I've already made it, but finishing up a vintage sort of 60s tree skirt. And I might use some of those on it. And then this tiny little box that says Metalworks. Something metal must have come in it, but it's a cute little box. Might use that for something. So, so yeah, my love-hate relationship with Goodwill and their bagged up stuff, but I am so excited about those Victorian die cuts. So I really feel like somebody just almost like dumped their whole thing of junk journal supplies in one swoop at our local Goodwill, because there were those, and then there were a bunch of vintage patterns, $1.99. Again, you know, I really like to find these kinds of things for like 50 cents at estate sales or things like that, but I'm taking what I can get these days. But so these are big. Like, I'm gonna get to these next too, but like here's a regular size pattern, and then there were these large patterns, and I just thought this was super cool. I love this gal right here. Oh, there's two of them. What's the other one? Oh my gosh. That is, I know I like vintage stuff like this. And actually sometimes these patterns can, I'm gonna have to look these up because they can be worth some money. This pattern was $2.50, and I'm trying to find a date, because I mean, obviously this is like from the 60s. I don't see a date obvious, but these are so cool. I love these, and I love that they're larger. And it looks like somebody did make something with it. So I'm gonna check out the date, and if I find a date, I will just post it across the screen here to let you know. But check those out. Aren't those so cool? Okay, let's see what else is in here. I did not open that one to find out what else was in here because I just saw that front pattern and I was excited. These, I do not know anything about these types of patterns, but they're from 1967, it says. And this one, Stretch and Sew, a men's raglan sleeve. Oh, it's like a sweatshirt. Oh my gosh. Size 38, 40, 42. It's quite a large pattern. I'm not sure what I'll do with these. I mean, you can always use envelopes and these fun, you know, the illustrations and stuff on them. Here is another one for set in sleeve. I don't even know what that means, but these are pretty cool, I think, anyways. A lady's cardigan. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. And a lady's raglan sleeve. Isn't that like a sweatshirt? Like, it looks like a sweatshirt sort of style. These are super cute. A sleeveless shell. And these are all, yep, 1967. And actually from the town that I live in. So I don't know what's up with these. I'm going to have to do some more research on those. But anyways, that was a super fun find. I just think these two are super cool. I love the red, like the Paris flag colors up there. So fun. That was, I didn't mean to make that joke, but I did. So here's another set of patterns. And I hope everybody's doing all right. Finding things to keep you busy, or maybe you're even working twice as hard than you used to. But all right, so here are just some cool vintage patterns. I think I did sort of peek in here. I was able to move them around and see. Like this one, I don't want this one, and I don't want this one, but they still have the, you know, the tissue that you can use for making all sorts of things for junk journals. But I won't use the covers for these. I probably won't use the cover for this one. I might, but these two I thought were really cool. And, you know, a lot of the times we're making frilly, girly sort of junk journals and not as much men's things. And I don't find men's patterns, vintage patterns, as much as I do women's. So I thought this was really cool. And it's actually my husband's size. And he was like, ooh, those pajamas are cool. So who knows? Maybe I'll even make him a pair of pajamas. Yeah, if I find the time for that. Okay, so the next thing. So, oh my gosh. Somebody got rid of a bunch of vintage sewing stuff. Another $1.99. I think these were not, I think these were regular price. They weren't the color, different colors tags. Different colored tags are 50% off on different days at our Goodwill. So these are super cute. I love this. Let me see if I can find a date really quick. Usually they're on the flaps, and I'm not seeing one, but they definitely look like they're from like the 50s, maybe the early 60s, but this is adorable. So there's those. And then still in the sewing This pack of all of these Workbasket magazines was $2.99, and I find these, I've actually been finding these a lot around here, and they range different prices. One of our St. Vincent de Paul thrift shops has a bunch of these right now for 25 cents each. So okay, so that's always fun when your camera stops recording and you don't know it. So I think where I was is that I had just opened these work baskets. I don't know. I went and had lunch and got a cup of coffee and came back. So anyways, let's see. I think I was saying St. Vincent de Paul has these for 25 cents. This was $2.99 or something, and actually works out to be like a better deal. I totally talked all about these, thought I was recording and I wasn't. So now it's just going to be super short. But what I love about these is they're so much fun. I mentioned this before. I like this sort of vintage style. Oh, it looks like this one was cut up, but they have like all sorts of cute little advertisements in them. They have recipes. They are also in signature form. So you can open them up, take the staples out, and use the pages, you know, just like this. But look at how cute that is. It has a little pattern for a project. Let's see oh, check that out. Funky little designs. They have recipes in these. One of the things I had talked about, oh, look at, so this is from 1958. There have always been advertisements for things like, this is a spot reducer, massager that you're supposed to use to help you lose weight. The other thing about these that I think is really funny, this is July, but this was a thing back in the 50s and 60s where housewives could earn extra money selling Christmas cards. And I don't know, it's funny. I think it's funny. I mean, we still do the same things with, what do we have now? We have essential oil parties. We have Pampered Chef parties, Rodan and Fields. I think there's still Avon, Mary Kay, all of those things, but like those types of things have been going on forever and ever. But anyways, there's just these, lots of cute images in these to make tags, to use as pages, you know, all sorts of stuff, really cute little things. So oftentimes people will just be throwing these out, getting rid of them for really super cheap. Like I said, I usually pay maybe anywhere between 25 cents to 49 cents for these at the shops around where I live. So let's pretend I have this packet and these things were inside of it, because I also opened this packet while I thought the video was recording and it wasn't. And this is really super cool. So $2.99. The reason why I bought this is because this is what I could see through the packaging. Disney, right? And old Disney. Like, look at that. It's vintage Disney. Vintage Disney is always really popular. And as I opened this and started looking at it, I can't find a date on it, but it was only 25 cents. And I honestly think that this might be from when Disneyland originally opened. So I'm going to look into it a little bit more, figure out about this, because if so, this could actually be worth some money. Maybe. I don't know. They probably made a ton of these. There are some spots where they're kind of stuck together, so I'm going to carefully maybe use the hair dryer. Sometimes some heat will unstick things that are stuck together. But I thought they were postcards, but they're actually, it's just sort of like a little, you know, like pictures of the park that you can keep, you know, to look back for memories about your trip. I guess maybe, you know, if you didn't have a camera to take pictures. But I'm really curious to find out more about this because it's all the original rides as they were back when they opened. So this may not be getting cut up or used in junk journals. I may be, if I want to use any, scanning them or just keeping this. So here's another one. Somebody must have gone, the people who donated this stuff must have gone on a trip to California, because here's one for Home of the Stars. And this has got, you know, well, let's see, who are they? Red Skelton, Jack Benny, George and Gracie Burns, like all of these old stars. So cool. I love this kind of stuff. So also in here is a postcard from 1953, Buckingham Palace, which I have been lucky enough to actually go to and see. So this was sent from London. So, you know, here in the United States, I mean, you can buy stamps from all over the world on eBay and find things like that, but I love when I find these things at thrift stores and stuff like that. So it looks like that one's from Colorado, so that's just regular. But anyways, so some old postcards that are kind of fun. Here's a picture from Oregon. But I love the back of old postcards that haven't been used. So a lot of the time the fonts are really cool too. So, oh, look at, I guess this is a postcard. Officer in Charge, Pennsylvania State Police. What in the heck is this? 1958. This is a ticket. One headlight, no rear light. Oh my gosh. How crazy. And I guess maybe you send it in or something? I don't know. But, you know, like somebody had these old things and then they just got tossed into the donate pile. A memorial plaque. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at this. Look how cute. Oh, I love this old card. And it hasn't even been used. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, what else? Oh, and the envelope that goes with it. Oh, I like the back of this postcard too. These I also scan to use to make, you know, other journaling cards or tags or pockets or whatever. Old postcards are really funny. They had a lot of political satire and stuff. St. Paul, Minnesota. And then this, in this package, the way it was packaged, it had the Disney on the front and I could see this on the back. And so I thought this was really cool too. I didn't know what else was in there because they package them up in those packages, but this is kind of a special little assortment. Okay, let's go to, oh, this is just something fun. I've always loved Snoopy. And this is just some grosgrain ribbon. And if you know Peanuts and Snoopy, you remember the Beagle Scouts. It's hard for me to tell how old this is because it actually says like 1965 in here, but this just looks too new. I don't know. I'm going to have to research that too to see the age of that. So then in our Goodwill has like this craft section, and that's pretty much where I picked up all of these bits. And then this was on a shelf, and but it did say sewing stuff on it, $2.99. And I mean, it looks older. It's an older Russell Stover Candies box. And so inside was tons of goodies. So there's this cool ribbon that looks like it's a homemade type thing, and they've taken the rickrack and two different colors. And so let me see if you can kind of see how they've taken the two colors and put them next to each other. And then somebody who knows how to do maybe tatting or crochet, created this like pretty cool, I don't know, I don't even know what, you know, like it's just, would it have gone on a collar or, you know, the edge of a sleeve, some kind of trim. But, and maybe somebody didn't make it, maybe it was purchased like that, but I thought that was really cool. So we've got lace in here. There's a bunch of seam binding, vintage seam binding, a bunch of that, that you can use for putting, you know, through the holes of your tags. There's some elastic, which usually vintage elastic, I find like you'll stretch it and you'll hear all the elastic just go, and it's dried out and doesn't work very well. This is actually in pretty decent shape. So I wouldn't use this for something that I was going to like give to somebody or sell, but it's still in decent shape. I really liked this trim. This is going to look really cute for, you know, something that has to do with St. Patrick's Day or, you know, another vintage type thing. This was really cool. I thought this is seam binding, and usually I find seam binding on cards like this. That's the iron-on kind, which actually, maybe not. This looks like somebody wrapped something else around and then put this little label back on. But seam tape usually comes on these little cards, and so I haven't found one that looks like this, but it almost looks brand new. You know, somebody had these and they did use them, but some of them are still in the packaging and not, you know, totally used. So there's all different colors. Here's a pretty like magenta color. There are some things in here, like leave me a comment below if you use bias tape, and what you might use it for. I mean, you could always just glue it down or, you know, use it as trim, but that's one that I don't use as much as I use the seam binding. So, but I just saw a video too, and I can't remember who did it, but they were taking the wider, like this is blanket trim, but they were taking the wider stuff like this. And let's say this is your journal page right here, and you can make a tab. You can just take, you know, cut a piece of this, and my fingers aren't working, and, you know, make a fabric tab like that. You can put other embellishments on it like that. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have some of this that has come in packages that I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with it, and now I know what I can do with it. So let's put these all back in here. And this box was only $9.99 too. So super fun treats. Okay. I'm going to pause the video and clear this off because the other couple things I have are going to take up a little bit of room. Botanical Books, which I have a ton of. I think I mentioned at the beginning of this video how I was trying not to buy so many things because I already have so many things. It is 13 inches wide and almost 14 inches long. Oh, it's kind of a little bit of an optical illusion there. To me, it doesn't look like it's almost square, but this book is called Glorious Flowers, illustrated by Elena, which sort of says to me that she is probably from Europe. So yes, she is originally published in 1984 in Italy. And then this is an English version. This is a 1990 edition. And I'm seeing some different dates up here, but anyways, this book is just gorgeous. Now, I did pay $3.99 for it. I usually try to stay under $2 for my books, but check out these pictures. these illustrations. And one of the things I really like about it, I don't know if I'm going to be able to cut this book up. I say that about every book I buy, but the pictures are on, you know, like one page with writing on the other. So you're not, if you decide to use it, I'm not going to be cutting into other pictures that are on the side. I'll just be cutting the words away. But these illustrations are really beautiful. Check that out. Lotus, oleander. I mean, like really, really gorgeous flower illustrations. Okay, this, I didn't know that it had these little black and whites back here. Like these can be used also, but this is where you run into, you know, you've got one on the front and one on the back. This paper is actually pretty thick, so you could even just, you wouldn't even have to, you know, back it with anything, and you could just use that. Really pretty thick pages. Like I want to say it's not quite cardstock weight, but it's heavier than, say, copy paper. Carnations, isn't that amazing? Glorious flowers. So be on the lookout for that one. So here was another book. Again, especially for smaller, but like that one, $3.99, I thought it was worth it. This one, I was like back and forth. I think, let's take a look at when this book was published, because it, you know, like it looks a little bit newer, but I think it might be 90s. We are looking at, 2011. Why does it seem like the 90s aren't as far away as they actually are? So this has a book. I mean, check out the cover. The cover is super cute on its own. It ties together with this really pretty ribbon, and then the book slides into that pocket, and it has all these, talks about butterflies. It's a book about butterflies, but it has all these gorgeous pictures of butterflies. Okay, so it slides back in there, and then it has, this is so crazy, this whole, like, I don't even know how many, because I didn't look. 100, maybe it's 100. And these are actually, you can punch them out, and they're like origami paper thickness. But it's all the butterflies on these like die cut papers. Hello. Yeah. So I decided that I would pay $3.99. But isn't that amazing? Isn't that crazy? Okay, I can't get them back in. I'm going to set this to the side. You'll need to watch me fumble. So then there was this book. And this one was only $1.99. And that I was willing to go along with, because this has all sorts of pictures and history of vintage Christmas cards. Isn't that cool? So this book is called Greetings from Christmas Past. Looks like the author is Beavis Hillier. And this was, oh, it says right here, the first Christmas card was designed in 1843. There's your tidbit of holiday information. And this book was put together in 1982. So this book is actually kind of vintage also. But look at these images. Oh my gosh. It just, like, I wasn't even looking for anything like this, and they had this out on a front table, and I saw this, and I thought it was going to be, you know, there are like some just Christmas books that have little fancy sayings in them, and they're just really not my style. But I picked this up and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. All these images now in this book, what is going to be hard though, I may, scan some of the pages for personal use, which is fine. But they do have, images on the front and the back. So there's a book to look for. And then, of course, I love picking up vintage cookbooks. So this is Better Homes and Gardens, which I have several of, but I have never seen the gold souvenir edition. And so this, I believe, was $3. And it's not in like pristine condition, which actually is a little bit better for me because I need one that's kind of in cruddy condition so I don't feel so bad about cutting it up and using the pages. But I love these vintage pictures, this time period. This is from 1960. This is the 1965 edition, and the special gold cover souvenir edition. So I really wish we had dinner parties, fancy dinner parties like this, like they did back then. I mean, look at these pictures. I just love them. I love this. I love everything about this picture. I love the colors. I love her outfit. I love, the styling of the freezer containers. It's so cute. Cookies, vintage cookies. This is snowflake pudding. Like, no, who makes this anymore? I want to make this. So yeah, that was that. And then just a couple more things. These two, okay, this one was at Goodwill because it has the Goodwill 99 cents. And this was just like, I saw it and I was like, okay, what is this? Like, it just seemed kind of funky. I hadn't ever seen it before. And it's just really sort of cute. It looks like, I'm not seeing a date. Oh, 1981. And I didn't read through to see exactly what you do, but you can like change the music up, flip these around, and I assume that whoever put this together made sure that whatever you flip to isn't going to sound completely ridiculous. But it's already in, like tag size sorts of things to just take out. And then there are longer sheets like that with music notes and staff and treble clef and bass clef and all of that. So I thought that could be really cute. And it is, these are a lightweight cardstock weight. And then something else one of the things I always go and look for is if you're in a bookstore, or our St. Vincent de Paul book section is huge. I really need to like go and do a video about it, but and we have like 7 stores in the area within like a 20-mile radius, and they do things by subject matter, and they do things like in alphabetical order. So if you're looking for like an author, it's usually pretty easy to find. But they have an art section. Art and music is together. And one of the things, I've showed these in my videos before, that I look for, this is actually 1990. A lot of them are earlier than that, but Dover Publications. Dover Publications has a ton of books, and this one is Victorian Patterns. They also have ones with clip art and all sorts. Before like the internet and downloading things digitally, you had to make copies of things. And so they have a lot of books, if you haven't seen them before, that have all sorts of clip art images that you would then be able to, copy. And if you had, like an enlarging machine or a like an overhead thing with transparencies so you could trace them. But check out these awesome, now these are all in black and white, but look at these patterns. They're amazing. Somebody left their bookmark in there. So anyways, that was really cute. So I go into the art section and I look for these Dover publications in the art section. I also like to go into the antiques section and collectibles section. So this is a book that was in with antiques and it's about collecting bottles. So I like the typewriter font that, I mean, obviously this is just something that somebody put together. You know, it probably didn't go through a publisher, or it was just, you know, they didn't have very much money. So this is something that was put together, you know, typed out probably with a typewriter or whatever. But so I like the font. So just if you need words or whatever, but it also talks about collecting vintage bottles. So there are a couple labels in here, but this is what I was really interested in, was how they had drawn out the shapes of these bottles and talked about different things about them. So there's all these bottles, and you know, like I've seen bottles that look like these in antique stores and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's just, I thought it was really cool. So there you go. That's that. So this was one trip, 2 stores, Goodwill, St. Vincent de Paul. They're actually right next door to each other in one area of town, but I think we have like 7 St. Vincent de Pauls and we have at least 4 Goodwills, and I ended up finding these things. They find me. That is what happens, is they find me, especially when I say I'm not going to buy anymore and I go somewhere, they find me. So anyways, I hope that you found this interesting. Hope it gave you some ideas of things to look for when you're at the thrift store. You know, I go into the arts and crafts section, I go into the office supply section, I go into the games section. I have lots of flashcards, vintage playing cards, those kinds of things that I get from the game section. I often find, oh, rubber stamps. I have a rubber stamp. Where did I put it? Seriously, you guys, it got buried in like all the packaging of all the stuff I took out. I forgot I got a rubber stamp too. So it's a big one. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 by 5, and it is this lace pattern. And it was $2.99, but I think these are like $10 to $12 in the store. And it's actually like a fairly recent one. It is by All Night Media. I've found several of these in my area, but looks brand new, never used, super great. Okay, so yeah, I find a lot of rubber stamps. I often find die cuts for die cutting machines. But yeah, just, you know, go out, take a look. You don't need a lot of money to start collecting things. Go to garage sales, go to estate sales. You look on Facebook Marketplace. There's a lot of people getting rid of old craft supplies that they don't want anymore. And you can find some really great deals. So anyways, I hope this was fun for you. If you guys are stuck at home and can't get out, if your thrift stores aren't open, I'm here to take one for the team and go out there and find stuff to show you. Anyways, I hope everybody's doing well. Take care of yourself. Be safe. Thank you for joining me today. And again, if you're new and you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you subscribe. Click the notification bell so you're alerted when I have new videos up. And please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say about some of these things. Tell me about what you like to look for, what you find. I try to answer everybody's questions. And I just, you know, like to hear from you all. So thank you again for being here and hanging out with me. We'll see you later. Bye.